What's going on, man? It's your boy Jay Holley, and we are back with another episode of Unfiltered with Jesse Holley, episode 88. 88. And what about that? I'm sitting in the office of 88. Episode 88. Thank you. You are far too kind. You could have been anywhere in the world, but I am so glad that you are here with me. I am Jesse Holley, the sports talk equivalent of Braille. People feel me when I speak. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the notification button. Follow us, Unfiltered with Jesse Holley, on YouTube, on Instagram. You can catch us on anywhere you get your podcast from. Apple, Spotify. Make sure you're following Fanatics Views. Make sure you're following me on Twitter at Mr. Fourth and Long. And remember, if you come down to the restaurant, Playmakers Restaurant, right here, 121 in the Colony. Come on down here, man. Good food, good drinks. And every now and again, Michael Irvin might be here. I'm here on what's today? Mondays or whatever it is. Mondays and then Thursdays. I'm out here. So come on down, man. You might see me. You might see Mike. You will get good food. The scenery is good here. They got drinks. They got an open bar. All that kind of good stuff. Come on down to the Playmakers 88 restaurant, sports bar restaurant, all that kind of good stuff. You guys know how I like to get down. I like to get my motivation at the beginning because let's be honest, some of you will not be here at the end, and that's okay. That's okay. I'm not for everybody. But before you go, make sure you listen to an episode or two or three. Just give me 15 minutes of your time before you go. If you don't like the first episode that you find, pick another one. There's 88 of them out there. When you see this, 88 of them be out there. Find one. There's some interviews in there. There's some good content in there. There's some funny stuff. There's some serious stuff. There's some stuff that I probably want to take back after a while. But, hey, what the hell? It's out there now. It is what it is, all right? It's out on the internet. Can't take it back. But make sure when you do that, put me in your group chat. Let everybody know about your boy Jay Holley and Unfiltered with Jesse Holley. All right, man, let me get to the word. It's simple. It is really simple. Happy New Year. That's it. It's Happy New Year. And I don't know what you have planned for you in this new year. Make it happy. Self-care is not selfish. Self-care is not selfish. Be the CEO of your PTO. Take off them days of work. I'm telling you. Travel. Go see that destination. Talk to that girl. Talk to that boy. Skydive. Whatever it is. Challenge yourself this season. But make sure that you're making you happy. No more pouring from an empty cup. No more pouring from an empty cup. Everyone wants your energy. Everyone wants your sauce. If you're not filled up and if you're not provided for, that's it. Take care of you in the new year. Allow 2025 to be the best year of your life. Will there be some challenges? I'm sure of it. Might be a flat tire. Engine might blow. The washing machine might stop working. Hell, you may lose your job. Make 2025 happy. And do all that you can to make sure that you're happy. You're happy. You are happy. Because life is fleeting. It's going fast. As the older I get, the more I realize that. I'm seeing the people that helped raise me and the people that I looked up to all these years dying. I see some people my age dying. And boy, what a waste of life if you die. And you died unhappy. If you died miserable. If you died with hopes and dreams. If you died with a vision board that never got accomplished. No one knows the day or time. So if I were you, I'd make this year happy. Even if it means you gotta piss a couple of people off because you told them no. Even if it means you gotta cut a couple of people off. Even if it means you gotta quit that job. Even if it means you have to leave that state. Even if it means you have to get a little bit uncomfortable. if the overall goal is to making yourself happy, now I'm not saying be selfish. I'm not saying be immoral. I'm not saying be dangerous. I'm saying be happy. I'm saying be happy because you deserve it. You deserve it. All right, man, let's get into this thing, man. The Cowboys lose to the Philadelphia Eagles. Let's be honest, y'all. We got one more game to go, okay? Like, we're not – it's been a long year. You watched the game. Ain't nothing to break down. Okay, you faced a better opponent. You faced a much better opponent. What you faced is what you dream about being, Cowboy fans, Cowboy Nation. You faced a team that says, how can we improve by any means necessary? How can we get better by any means necessary? How can we go from point A to point B by any means necessary? Not thinking about salary caps and thinking about, oh, no. Football is played by football players. Football games are won by the better football players. Teams should be built with the best football players at those positions. What you lost in Philadelphia was a team who said, what do we have to do to get better? Yeah, we're going to draft, cool. But we're going to trade. We're going to draft Devontae, and we're going to go get A.J. Brown. Okay? Oh, okay, cool. We need to really – oh, Saquon Barkley's out there. He's the best available free agent that we can get to – go get him. Pay him what he wants. We're going to draft guys like Mitchell. We're going to put guys on his front line. We're going to keep the cupboard restocked. What you lost to is who you want to be. You have a picture of what it looks like, how it's done. All across the league really shows you this. But you just lost to a superior team in every way. In every way. Like, they went to their third string quarterback. Didn't miss a beat. And still beat you 41-7. Their third string quarterback came in there and threw 1.5 touchdowns, really. He should have had one to Devontae, but Devontae slowed down and got tackled at the 1 yard line. I mean, and then they just said, okay, we'll just give it to Saquon over and over and over and over, and they bludgeoned you with the best running back in the game. Your best defender, he was neutralized going up against the best offensive line in the league. Don't worry. Mulata, we're cool. Hey, Becton, I know the Jets said that you were done and you were washed and you were a bust and all that. Come on. Ain't no way 6'8", 355 pounds with athletic ability going to be a bust. Come on. Go sit right next to Lane Johnson. Learn a thing or two. Oh, cool. We got rid of Travis Kelce, but right in the pocket. Sorry, Jason Kelce, not Travis Kelce. Travis is in. We got rid of the Jason Kelce, retired. Cool. Don't worry about it. Cam Jurgens, come on in. Come on. Yeah, you're not Jason, but you get it. We're going to just keep the party moving. And you got dog walked. It's okay. Season's almost over anyway. But just to highlight a few things I want to highlight from that game. Rico Dowdle hit 1,000 yards. And congratulations to Rico. I don't want to poo-poo on Rico's parade. Congratulations to Rico. The first back in Cowboys football history to reach 1,000 yards who was undrafted. That's what Rico did. So Rico goes down in Cowboys history. Now, when you think back on it, you know, so sometimes you want to say, like, oh, man, that's a great – it really was only – like, Emmitt Smith's really the only, like, real back. Like, you think about – and, like, it wasn't like there was a – no, I'm talking bad about my friends. But, hey, they know. They know what the deal is. Like, Marion Barber wasn't a great back. He was good. Tashard wasn't a great back. He was good. Felix wasn't a great back. It was good. I mean, you got Troy Hambrick, you got James, what's his name? Not James Jones, Julius Jones. You got Julius Jones. Who else you had before that? You had Zeke, you had DeMarco. Like you had some.
Those guys were great seasons, individual seasons.
They had a good run. They had good. They weren't historic backs. Like Zeke won't go down as one of the most historic backs in the league. He'll say, he had a good run. DeMarco had a good season or two. But they won't get talked about in the pantheon of Emmitts, of Adrian Petersons of the world, of Terrell Davises of the world. Those conversations. Yeah. But Rico, I think what he showed you this year, he upped his status a little bit. Rico is a guy who's looking for a chance. Injuries have but injuries were the things that hampered him in the past. He just couldn't get healthy, couldn't stay healthy. And so because of that, you drafted around him and over him. And, of course, Zeke was there. And then you had Tony Pollard. And the chances weren't really there like he wanted them to be. Finally, after all the teeth pulling in the beginning of the year, 8 carries here, 6 carries here, the magical sick game, which is crazy. Still wild to me. That's still – we need a 30 for 30 on that. We need a 30 for 30 on the flu game. Not the Michael Jordan flu game, the Rico Dowdle. I want a 30 for 30 on the Rico Dowdle flu game. But a great accomplishment. And I think that adds a little bit to – if you're a running back, the goal is to get to 1,000 yards. Now, in a 17-game season, not really hard to get. I'm just being honest with y'all, man. When you do – I did the math. Let me just make sure so I don't look like a crazy fool. You need 58 yards a game, right? Like, you take 1,000 and you divide that by 17, you need 58.8 yards a game. Like, that's how you get to 1,000 yards. So when you think about it, 58 yards. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So, but Rico, I did think Rico found some value this year, and I still believe that Rico isn't a bell cow starting back for the 17-week season. I think he's a good back. I think he's a back that can have a role in this league. I think he's a back that deserves a little bit of cheddar in his pocket. He's still not my number one. He needs to be paired with someone else. He runs hard. He runs physical. Doesn't have the breakaway speed. Doesn't have the looseness. Doesn't have the shiftiness where he's making guys miss. He's bouncing things. He's bouncing over 2 and 3 holes and changing courses of fields and all. So he doesn't have, and then he doesn't score touchdowns. Like, let's be honest. It's 1 touchdown all year. It's 1 touchdown. So you want, like, all right, if you don't have the home run, like, at least we can count on you on the goal line. Like, there's still moments in this season where they still give the ball to Zeke and during the goal line. So if you had 1,000 yards and maybe 10, 12 touchdowns, like I'll give you an example, like Cook in Buffalo, not the Cook that we got, the little brother, it's 14 touchdowns. There's value to that. There's value to you scoring 14 times in a season. That's dependability. That's a scoring that we need. So congrats to Rico. Another person that I want to give a congrats to, and I was half-heartedly joking about it, but the more I thought about it, I might throw CeeDee Lamb an MVP vote or 2. Let me tell you why. Because I know we say, hey, Joe Burrow, while he's not winning, many games and his defense is doing this, Joe Burrow is playing the numbers are there. And I'm saying to myself, okay, CeeDee Lamb just gave you 100 catches, 101. He has over 1,000 yards. He has 6 touchdowns. And he had a backup quarterback for half the season. He doesn't have a true number 2 wide receiver opposite of him. Doesn't have a tight end. Doesn't have a running game. It's just him. It's CD and them. You have a mid-play schemer, designer, caller at coach. So even the way that he's being presented to the defense every single week isn't of the elite category. I said the run game was meh. The run game was mid. Yeah, and he still gave you. Oh, and by the way, he did the last 4 or 5 games with the separated AC joint in the shoulder. Did it hurt? And still gave you that. Imagine if he had the creativity and they were actually running things and scouting things and scheming things up. Imagine if he had a T. Higgins on the opposite side. If he had a Amon-Ra St. Brown on the opposite side. If he had a Addison on the other side. If he had Devontae Smith on the other side. If he had a Tank Dell. Imagine that. Imagine that. If he had a legitimate number 2 threat, we tried to make Brandon Cooks that. I get it. Oh, man. We thought Jalen Tolbert. I thought Jalen Tolbert was going to take the step. He didn't. Not Ryan Flournoy, not Jalen Brooks, not Mingo. It's CD and them. Jake Ferguson, when Dak was in, Jake Ferguson was great. Dak went out. He had the concussion. That's another conversation. I think that concussion really messed Jake Ferguson up this year. I do. When a man talking about something, he wakes up and he's crying in the middle of the night because he don't know where he at or what happened. I keep trying to tell y'all, this game takes away more than you're willing to give. I think the game took something from Jake. I do. I just do. That's just my personal opinion. I think something in his heart, in his core, was taken from him. In addition to the quarterback that he's playing with now, just doesn't throw it to the tight end. But if I'm just saying, I'm not saying that CD might get a lot of first place votes, but I might throw CD Lamb a vote or two to see what he did, what the limitations he had. He still was. And again, when the defense know that you don't have anything else, they play to that. And he still was able to go out there and give you 1,000 yards and 100 catches. But, I mean, here we are. This season, I was asked earlier today, if I had to pick one word to what this season was for me, and please leave it in the chat. Like, leave it in the chat, tweet it to me, whatever. What would you use? What would be your one word that you would use to describe this Cowboys football season? And the word that I used was predictable. It was predictable. Everything that you saw in the offseason, and again, you can fall victim to the hopium, and you can wear the hopium glasses and sniff the hopium or shoot the hopium in your arm or whatever it is. When you looked at this thing from the offseason, the pieces that left, the pieces that were used to return them, the drafting, the guys missing certain portions of the offseason, when you watch training camp, when you watch the preseason, it was predictable. It was predictable. And the injuries didn't help it. And I know that we go back and forth about, with the injuries, it happens. It happens. Look at Detroit. Detroit hasn't stopped rolling, and they got 11, 12 dudes on IR. And not just like Jags, they're dudes. And they just keep rolling. All right, ho hum, let's go. Let's go. Yep, sure. We don't have David Montgomery. We don't have Aiden Hutchinson. We don't have McNeil. We don't have their DB. I mean, like, they got 11 dudes on IR. They just line up. Let's go. Next man up. Ooh, that's America's team right there. I don't care what y'all say. That Detroit's America's team. Detroit is America's team. That feels like American right there. That feels American right there. But yeah, man. Hey, listen. The Cowboys go up against Washington next week. Washington, they'll be playing really hard because they're fighting for like the 6 or 7 spot, like however that plays out for them. Whatever. The Cowboys, we're here, guys. We're here. That's just what it is. I'll do the Cowboys breakdown for them playing against the Commanders later this week, but it wasn't much to talk about in that game. You saw what happened. Better team won by a lot. And that's usually what happens to the Cowboys. And until they're willing to fix it, and them being Jerry and Steven and the Jones family in the front office, until they're willing to go out and get uncomfortable. And the uncomfortable part is them leaving their comfort zone of the coaching styles and the coaching pieces that they think they want to have in and go outside of their norm. Their norm has gotten us right where we're at today. And if they decide to bring back Mike McCarthy next year, that's their norm. That's comfortability. And it's going to continue to be, competitive here and there because you have the top part. You have the top heavy roster. But when you face teams that are better than you, equal to or better than you, you get your doors beat off. It's just how it is. It's just how it's been. You'll beat the bottom feeders and you'll beat the teams that are meddling around, somewhere around there. But the teams that are equal to or better than you lose to those teams. And not only do you lose to those teams, remember I told y'all grandma said go outside, get the switch? The big switch. You better not come back in with that little switch. You get whooped like that. And at some point in time, it has to be, the alarms have to go off. But we'll see what happens. All season is quickly approaching, and we'll see what they do with old Michael from Pittsburgh. We'll talk more about that. Let's talk about around the league. I briefly hinted at some rushing situations. History was made for only the 9th time in NFL history, a running back reached the 2,000-yard mark. That running back, Saquon Barkley. Sidebar. If that's not a fireable offense for the front office people, and they got to be sick. Because when y'all was on Hard Knocks and they got y'all talking about this, you thought Joe, what's his name? Shan, whatever the hell his name is. The Maras should definitely tie cement bricks to your ankles and dump you in the Hudson. You gotta be sick. You got to be sick. You let Saquon walk, and you was like, yeah, you're going to give us a shot? Nah. And he goes and go get 2,000 yards on you. Only 8 other receivers, 8 other running backs have done that in NFL history. The leader being Eric Dickerson, 2,106 yards. Saquon needs 101 yards to beat that. Here's why I love old heads. Old heads, when you get to a certain age, and I can't wait. I've already got a head start because I say what the hell I want a lot of times now. But I love old heads because old heads, when they get to a certain age, y'all know, y'all got grandmas and grandpas and great uncles and great aunties and all them, big mama and all them. They say what the hell they want. They say exactly what's on their mind. They ain't putting a skirt on it. They telling it like it is. And so Eric Dickerson, who's owned this record for 30-something years, 40 years, whatever, how long it's been, they asked Eric Dickerson, like, bro, Saquon is 101 yards away from breaking the record. What do you think? ED was like, man, hell nah. I don't want him to break the record. I ain't cheering for him to break the record. I'm just keeping it real. And then, not to be like name dropping, like I know Eric Dickerson like personally, like that's a friend of mine. That's exactly what he means. Like ED don't mince words. He don't tiptoe around. He gonna say what he mean and mean what he say. So when he say he ain't cheering for Saquon now, if Saquon gets it, he'll kind of be like, all right, cool. But when ED says I don't want him to get it, he definitely means I don't want him to get it. And now the question that I ask you, with 1 week remaining, we always talk about playoffs, and the conversation is always rest or play. The risk of playing and potentially getting injured, but this is on the line. A historic record. Let me put another kind of this timeout to this as well. The one record in NFL history that will never, ever, 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 ever get broken is the all-time rushing record. 18,000, whatever the hell the yards Emmitt Smith got. You know how, first of all, ain't nobody playing that long no more. Running backs ain't playing that long no more. Like, you would have to have, at the height, like if you're a running back right now, and if you were exceptional and you played 9 years, if you played 9 years, you basically have to do what Saquon did every single year for 9 years. If you played 10 years, you still have to get somewhere around 1,800 yards a year. It's never getting broke. Emmitt will die 3 times before anyone comes close. Like, that record's not being touched. Like, that is a record. And we're going more passing. 18,000 rushing yards. Nobody's getting that. Nobody's built like that. The running backs aren't built like that anymore. To play that many. Frank Gore was the last one that was breathing, that's still breathing, that no one's getting that. No one's getting that. Just the body just doesn't. You're not. It's Emmitt. You can die knowing no one is ever getting your record. But for Saquon, do you want him to get it? Should he rest him? I think this record is bigger than just Saquon. Because if I'm an offensive line, if I'm Jordan Mailata, if I'm Mekhi Becton, if I'm Cam Jurgens, if I'm what's the right tackle's name? Lane Johnson. I want to say, you know what? I blocked for the last record breaker. Like, that goes on my ledger too. When Saquon goes into the Hall of Fame, or when Saquon wins MVP or the rushing title, whatever it is, forever and ever and ever, I am associated with the breaking of the all-time single-season rushing record. That's an accomplishment for the lineman. When Lane Johnson goes into the Hall of Fame, he'll be able to say, I'm a Hall of Famer, and I was a right tackle I was a right tackle on the team that blocked for the all-time NFL single-season rushing leader. I think the franchise wants it. Philadelphia will ever be synonymous with, what was it, Philly Special? Right? This Philly Special play. And then, as long as you talk about who owns the single-season rushing record, it would be Saquon Barkley when he played for the Philadelphia Eagles. If you're the head coach, if you're the offensive coordinator, if you're the GM, all of this gets attributed to your resume. I think they want it. And I think they'll go and get it. They damn near almost got it against the Cowboys, but I think they should go get it. I mean, if he gets hurt, he gets hurt. What the hell? I mean, life goes on eventually. But I think I know people are going to say, you can't root for anything good to happen for Philadelphia. I'm rooting for Saquon. I'm a player. I like to see players hit milestones and have legacy that lasts forever, because you won't. So if Saquon can go and get that, kudos to you. Moving on, as we get closer and closer to the season ending, the rumor mill is starting. Ron Rivera. You remember Ron Rivera? He last coached, head coach of the Washington. What were they? They were the football people then, before they went to the Commanders. Ron Rivera was his last head coaching job was there. Well, when he hired, they were still the Redskins. When they ended, they were like the football people or whatever it was. They were like trying to figure out a name. His name's back in the mix. Ron Rivera's name is back in the mix, and they're talking about Ron Rivera may be up for the head coaching job of the New York Jets. The Jets. Woody, Woody, you're rich. And you can do whatever the hell you want because you're rich. But you're making your franchise so irrelevant. You're making your franchise feel very Cleveland Brownish. You're making your franchise feel very Jacksonville Jaguarish. And it's because you're in New York that you'll keep a level of what am I looking for? Relevance. There we go. Relevancy. Because you're in New York. But you're becoming a joke as a franchise. You're truly becoming a joke. And Aaron Rodgers didn't help you this season. Garrett Wilson saying that he wants out if Aaron Rodgers comes back. That's not helping your franchise. Like, you look like a joke. And I'm not saying that Ron Rivera is not a good head coach. I'm not saying that Ron Rivera is not a good culture guy. But we need to stop with the retreads. I'm sorry. I'm tired of the retreads. I really am. Like, I want to see the new age players, coaches ushered in. Like, do something different. Like, now's the time that you go. You want to go all out? Go get Ben Johnson. Go get Ben. Go find the next. I thought you gave Robert Saleh a raw deal. I thought for what Robert Saleh did with that franchise and what he was doing defensively, that's his side of the ball. I thought you were premature in letting him go, but because Aaron Rodgers was there, you were trying to placate to that and all that kind of stuff. You let some good people go. Like, you're going to turn into the Cleveland Browns of New York. But your good old Ron Rivera, he's in the coaching mix. Another coach that has name is surfaced. He stepped away. He went and just, I guess what Mike McCarthy did, he got in the barn and watch some ball. Pete Carroll. Now, this is an interesting pick. Pete Carroll has been reported, I think it was Adam Schefter, had reported that Pete Carroll is interested in the Bears head coaching job. I got to thinking, because initially I go, retread, old head. I may be out. Then the more and more I thought about it and I sat with the idea. If Pete Carroll, who I think is a really good culture guy, by the way, let me add that. I think Pete Carroll's a really good culture guy. I know it didn't end that way with the Legion of Boom, but he helped put the Legion of Boom together and got them to 2 Super Bowls. They should have won, but he, whatever, however you feel about the Russell Wilson / Marshawn Lynch handing the ball on the 1-yard line. I do think Pete's a good culture builder. And while Pete is an old head, 70-something years old, 73 years old, Pete got more energy than anybody. So Pete can keep up with the energy. And what made me kind of go, maybe this whole Pete Carroll thing might not be so bad. Because if Pete Carroll decides that he just wants to be the CEO of the team, meaning just a walk-around head coach, and he's going to go hire the young, the innovative, the creative, the fresh blood to run his offense, maybe run his defense, I could be into that. I could be into that so much so that when I started looking at the Cowboys coaching options, and Stephen Jones recently spoke and talked about, like, we'll talk about the coaching stuff after the final game. Just for record, I want to be on the record and saying I still think that they are not going to return Michael McCarthy. Just my personal opinion. I could be wrong. I have been wrong before. But I don't think they're going to return them. And I don't think they should return them. Let me be very clear with that. Now, I know who I want. I want young. I want skinny jeans. Tapered or tailored, however you want to do them. I want ankles showing. Moisturize the ankles. Men, listen to me. Vaseline is a very, very good product. Use it, especially in the wintertime. I want updated iPhone 16, 17, 18, whatever version of the iPhone is out right now. I want an iPhone 12. I don't want a Razr. I don't want an Android. iPhone. updated with the max storage. I don't know what the 640 gigabytes. That's what I want. 640 gigabytes. And I looked at what I want and some of the names that Jerry might want. Of course, guys like Vrabel, I think is it because Jerry has a criteria, right? Jerry wants prior, it's like doing a job interview, like, oh, we want to hire you, but we want somebody that has 3 years of experience. Like, well, damn, I won't get the experience until you give it to me. Hire me and give it to me. But Jerry wants the guys that have head coaching experience. He wants guys that maybe probably won a Super Bowl or at least appeared in the Super Bowl. Jerry wants more of the grizzled vets in the coaching carousel, in the coaching world. So some names like Vrabel comes to mind. I think that's probably top of the list. I think he might spin the block on that Bill Belichick thing. I know he's at UNC, but that's just temporary. Bring back Mike McCarthy. My dark horse. And maybe he should stay in the dark. That's a different conversation for a different day. Just delete those emails. My dark horse, John Gruden, has won a Super Bowl, loves ball, can be a culture builder, can handle the chaoticness of, he was with Al Davis in Oakland. Don't get more chaotic than Al Davis in Oakland. Al and Jerry are probably like two peas in a pod, damn near sometimes with some of their decision making, and they're meddling into stuff. But then that's when I thought more and more about this Pete Carroll situation. I said, hold on now, Jess. Maybe it'll find Pete a tailor. We would get Pete to go, hey, Pete, listen, 2025 here, brother. We don't need to loose khakis. But the Pete Carroll thing intrigued me because of the culture building. But if Pete Carroll is willing to go out and let's just say the Miami Dolphins decide to fire Mike McDaniels. If Pete Carroll goes, Mike McDaniels, you want to come be my offensive coordinator? Got a quarterback already in place. Got a number one wide receiver. Got a pass rusher on the other side, Micah Parsons. But offensively, we got some pieces here. And Mike goes, okay. I kind of get out of the AFC. I get away from Bills. I get away from Chiefs. I get away from Pittsburgh. I get away from Baltimore. Okay. Not too bad. I've had some time. I've been in the NFC before my time with McVay. Okay. And now Mike McDaniels comes to be your OC, and you can go get whoever your if Mike Zimmer wants to come back, he could be your DC. You might have sold me on Pete Carroll. You can't sell me on Mike McCarthy coming back. Can't sell me on John Gruden. I just can't. You just can't sell me on John Gruden. I'm the Belichick disciples, I'm out on. They don't have success in this league. Vrabel may have been the only one that's kind of had any sort of little bit of success, but I'm good on the Belichick disciples. They done nothing to this league but hold L's. All of them. So if Vrabel ain't coming with Bill Belichick, I'm out on him too. But this Pete Carroll thing, if the pieces are put together with him, you might be able to sell me on this. All right, man, moving right along as we talk about the bowl season is here. We're getting ready for the real college football playoff games happening this week. Just want to look back over two games that happened over the weekend and mainly what happened in those games. The games, not so much. I can care less about the games. Like, let's be honest. Like, if it's not the college football playoff games, and my Tigers got the doors beat off of them by UConn. Just pathetic, man. Good luck, Bill. Good luck. Take that squad, to the CFP next year. Yeah, I ain't saying that. I'll let you slide in it. Your Aggies got smoked. But 2 games that happened over the weekend. The Miami Hurricanes lost by 1 point. But it wasn't the game. It was what happened within the game. And there may have been some clarity that's coming to the forefront now. But in that particular game, Heisman Trophy finalist, projected to be one of the top 3 quarterbacks taken in this NFL draft, Cam Ward, who went into that game and threw 3 touchdowns in the first half of that game, one of them taking over the record of the most touchdowns thrown in college football history, and in a single, in a college football career. Cam Ward plays the first half, and then I don't know if he elected or Coach Mario Cristobal decided to take him out, but he didn't play the second half of the bowl game. And that just, to me, it left a bad taste in my mouth, because unless you're hurt, if you start with us, my dog, finish with us, bro. If you're going out there and you willingly pull yourself out of this game for whatever reason, you wanted to get the record and then you wanted to be done, that's a weak sauce to me. Now, in defense of Cam Ward, Nick Wright, what show is Nick Wright on? First Things First? It's on Fox. Nick Wright. Nick Wright came out today, and take Nick Wright for however you want to take it, but Nick Wright comes out today and he says, I'm sorry, not Nick Wright. I take that back. Excuse me. It's another one of those dudes on his Fox show. It was Emmanuel Ocho, Manny Ocho. Manny Ocho came out via Twitter and he said he has gotten some inside information on what happened in the Cam Ward halftime situation. And he said that he got some good inside intel that said that Mario Cristobal and Cam Ward had a understanding that he was only going to play a half of football, but kept it on the low from the team, from the media, from the people. Now, why they came to that conclusion, no one really knows. But Manny made a point that I kind of agree with. If Mario decided that he agreed to this, then Mario should have been the one that leading up to this game or after this game, come out and say, it was a decision that I made that Cam was only going to play the first half of the game because I wanted to see what the future looked like on the football field, and I was going to go with the freshman to play him in the second half. If you would agreed upon that, Mario, then you need to be the big boy in this situation, and because now you got Cam Ward looking a little funny in the light, like he let down his teammates. And if that's not the case, then Mario Cristobal, you need to say something. In the other game, of course, we all know the Colorado Buffalo got blown out by BYU Cougars. But in that game, all the talk about was Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter. You know, everyone's opting out of these bowl games. They're not in the college football playoffs. And these guys played, and it wasn't pretty. They got smoked. They made a big deal about, Shedeur and Travis getting these big insurance things. That's not, I don't know if you guys know this or not. That's not new. Like, guys Lords of London have been insuring bodies and body parts and players for a long time. They insure singers' vocal cords, actors' vocal cords. J-Lo got her butt insured at one point in time. Like people, if it's someone who has a certain type of legs or feet or hands or whatever it is, Lords of London will insure any parts of your body. So I don't know why that was a big thing, because it happens all the time. Usually the university will take out an insurance policy for the player. due to it's based on your projection. If you're where you're projected at is where the insurance comes out on this whole thing. And then from there, if you don't get hurt and you go on to the league, you then pay the school back. If you are hurt and the insurance policy pays out, you pay the school back. But that's been a thing for God knows how long. But I do want to say in this game, while they did get blown out, to me, guys like Shador and Travis Hunter gained a little favor in my eyes. Because it's not like it's the college football playoffs, right? Like you're not fighting to win a national championship. No one would have been mad if Shador decided, I'm sitting out. Y'all just got the young boy Juju. Let him play. If Travis sat out, I'm good. I don't need to play 100 snaps. But Travis went out there and, again, played 85% of the snaps offensively and defensively. Shador went out there and played, got banged around, hit around over there. To me, those are two dudes who, if I'm evaluating them, I'm saying in a meaningful game, 2 top 5 picks, the Heisman Trophy winner, probably the number 1 overall pick in the quarterback in Shador, they went and played in a meaningful game for themselves and for their brothers and for their coaches or for their university. Those dudes love ball. Those dudes ain't worried about injury. Those dudes love ball. Those are the guys I want in the foxhole with me. Those are the guys I can build around. That, to me, shows high quality and character. That's just me. That's just me as an old ball dude. Those guys went out there and played, and whoever else does it too. If you're a high draft, if you're a top 5 pick, top 10 pick, and you go out and you play in a bowl game that's not a CFP bowl game, you earn favor in my eyes. In the era that we live in today, where everybody opts out, yeah, it says a lot about you, to me. And I think it says a lot about the character of what Shador and what Travis are really made of. So the performance wasn't great, but, I mean, not many bowl games are. The fact that 2 top 5 picks for the same team went out and played, I mean, and Travis went out there and he put up 4 catches, 103 yards and a touchdown, and you saw Travis be Travis. Like, he was explosive. Like, you look at you like, damn, he liked that. He may not make all the best on-field decisions, but I mean, that's another conversation for another day. But I think those guys gained a little favor in my eyes. And if I was an NFL GM and I'm evaluating those guys, I look at that and I go, check, in a positive box for me. I'll say this last topic for Thursday, man, but I'll pack some teams up on Thursday. I'll talk about fighting in the NBA. Might be what they need for ratings. I'm just saying. Might be what they need to help those ratings out. That's it for me, man. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. And remember, Happy New Year. Literally, make 2025 a happy new year. Remember to follow me on Twitter at Mr. Fourth and Long. Follow Fanatics Views on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Follow Unfiltered with Jesse Holley on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, Apple, everywhere, man. Make us a part of your lives. That's all I got for y'all, man. Happy New Year. Eliminate the contingencies. I'm out.